Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be going over 5 mistakes that you're making in the gym and how to correct them so you start seeing gains in both strength and size. So before I begin, I must say that life is not all about lifting and work, and there definitely should be times where we can rest, unwind and enjoy ourselves. I know we have a lot of commitments in life, such as our work, our studies and our social life. And if you're an athlete, maybe a professional athlete, or you're a bodybuilder, powerlifter, you're probably most likely in the gym a lot, and you want to get stronger, you want to increase your strength, you want to lose fat. But for some of you may not be doing things correctly, and this is costing you dearly. So if you train right, you can rest easy, know that you're going to make progress, you're not going to waste your time, and you can enjoy yourself outside the gym. Remember, time wasted is time that you're never going to get back. With the passing of the weeks and months not doing something correctly, that's a lot of lost time. Not to mention all of the money that you're spending on gym memberships, on food and supplements, which are all poor investments if you're not doing things correctly in the gym. So I want to make you aware of these common mistakes I see people doing in the gym every day, so you don't have to spin your wheels, waste your desire to train, waste your energy and also your money. Most importantly, we want to do what we're all in the gym for, and that is to make progress, whatever your goal may be. Now, in the beginning, I also wasted my own time, like eating in excess of calories when trying to gain strength and size, which only really led to excess body fat gain, which needed to come off later on. Or I was not training with a well-structured, scientifically sound program, which includes various progressions and manipulation of training parameters to see new gains. So I was under the belief that just hard work and my genetics will be enough to see continued progress. But now I know this is not the case. So without further ado guys, let's get into the mistakes. So mistake number 1 you're making is you are not training with intensity. So you don't have a lot of internal drive. So every time you turn up to the gym, you're going to need to apply a bigger effort to make more progress. If you're not willing to feel a little bit of discomfort, or you're afraid of it, no matter how well structured or scientifically sound your program may be, your progress is going to be short-lived. So I remember I made good progress just having a strong work ethic to be better than the last session and last month, and this got me so far in my training. Having an internal drive is very important, and it's one of the most important things that you can have when training in the gym. Now, having an internal drive to be better and doing the actual necessary work to get better are two different things, but they definitely go hand in hand. So remember, you need to hold yourself accountable when in the gym. Give your best effort, whatever that may look like on the day. And I appreciate some people may not like the gym as much as me or others, but you're still in control of how much effort you give. So I know how demotivating it can be just turning up, going through the motions, and nothing is changing for the better. So the first thing you should look at is your work ethic. Are you putting in enough work? Do you think you could put in more work? So I'll let you figure that one out. If you think you can put in more work, you need to find a way to convince yourself to put in that work, which is the foundation for continued progress. Okay, mistake number 2 you're making is you are distracted in the gym and not tracking weight, reps, sets and rest times. So like the last point, you need to train a purpose every time you show up in the gym. If you're coming to the gym just expecting results to come, well, they're not just going to show up. So every day I see people going through the motions in training. They're looking at their phones for too long, maybe not tracking their rest times, and they're doing an exercise but with a lackluster approach. So if you rested for 1 minute on the first set, 3 minutes on the next set, but only 30 seconds on the set after that, it's very hard to know if you're actually making progress. Now, they have a saying in the sports science community, and that is, you can't manage what you can't measure. And this holds true for weight lifted, for reps, sets and rest times. So instead, you need to come into the gym, right, I'm ready to train, I'm going to give it my best effort and try my best to make progress this session. I'm also going to track what needs to be tracked. So, being there in the gym is the first part, but you also need to put in some work to see some results. Now, tracking is also very important because it's going to give you real feedback if what you're doing in a gym is working. And if you're making progress, lifting more weight or gaining more muscle, it's going to give you a lot of confidence and it's going to push you towards your goal. Plus, it gives us real data to look at to know that our training program is working and our nutritional practices outside of the gym are working. If we're making progress, we can continue what we're doing, but if we're not making progress, then it makes sense to change up the training parameters a little bit, possibly change up the nutrition parameters, and possibly change up the goal depending on the situation. Okay, mistake number 3 you're making is you're lifting too heavy weights to lift with sound technique. So this is also known as ego lifting. So I can think of half squats or not bringing the bar all the way down to the chest while bench pressing. So the problem is here your ego is too big and you don't actually want to train for real results. So you may keep lifting the same weight for weeks or months and you never see new progress. Or you may get frustrated with your lack of progress. You decide to load more weight on the bar and you end up getting hurt. So, though it may hurt your ego a little bit and means you're not as strong as you think you are, if you stripped the weight to a weight that is manageable, meaning you can lift with full range of motion, you can feel your target muscle working, and you can train the movement in a safe manner, you're 100% going to make progress, you're going to build muscle, and you're going to get stronger. So, I don't know about you, but I know making real progress is a lot better compared to ego lifting and tricking yourself into thinking that you're making progress. Okay, mistake number 4 you are making is performing exercises with poor technique. So this is due to a number of reasons. Maybe you were never taught how to perform the exercise correctly, you just don't know how to perform the exercise with sound technique. So I can think of an exercise, the barbell back squat. So if your goal is quad hypertrophy, you want to get your quads bigger, you want to squat as upright as you can, you want to let your knees track over your toes, and you want to squat as deep as you can. But if your squat looks like your back is very bent over, you're going to be training more of your lower back and glutes, which makes the exercise less effective. You may also think about training your chest with barbell bench pressing, but because the weight is too heavy and your technique is poor, you're going to be loading more of your elbow joints, which may negatively disrupt your training in the long term, and your chest and triceps are not getting any bigger. So instead, you need to be purposeful with the movement you're training. Know what your current training goal is, what you're trying to get out of the session, and execute the exercise as best as you can in line with your goal, whether that's hypertrophy, whether that's strength, power or speed, and we train differently for each attribute. Very importantly, congratulate yourself when you perform an exercise with good technique. So this is the first step in the right direction. So every time you add more weight, reps or sets on top of the solid technique, you know you're going to make progress and you and others are going to start to notice. So you've now set yourself up for a lifetime of progress. Okay, mistake number 5 you're making is poor choice of exercises for the desired goal. So we have some people lifting too much weight, but we also have others who lift too little weight and neither is desirable. So if you're not lifting between 30 to 80% for muscle hypertrophy or 80 to 100% for strength training, you're not training your desired attribute correctly. Exercise selection is also another big one. So some people pick exercises which make it very challenging to continue load the movement with weight, or it's difficult to train to elicit an effective stimulus. So this could be due to other supporting muscles becoming the limiting factor. The exercise doesn't allow you to load it with a lot of weight to begin with, or the exercise is too technical, making it unnecessarily difficult to target your target muscle. So regarding the first point, I can think of an exercise called the goblet squat. Now, the goblet squat is a fine exercise to teach an upright squat to improve ankle dorsiflexion, but you'll notice after a while when you try to add weight to this exercise, it's going to be very hard to hold on to that weight since the weight is in your hands. A much better exercise in this case would be the high bar barbell squat. Instead of the weight being supported, the weight is going to be supported on your upper back, and your upper back and core muscles are way stronger compared to your grip muscles. So this means we can train the prime mover, the quads, to failure or close to failure, which is ultimately the end goal of the exercise. So remember, we want to train within that ideal stimulus threshold. Too light a weight and we're not going to cause much disruption to the muscle, and we're not going to receive much of stimulus from the exercise. Too heavy a weight, we're not going to be able to target our muscle effectively, and we're not going to be able to train with as much volume, which is one of the main drivers for muscle hypertrophy. So it pays to be thoughtful with exercise selection, know what you're trying to get out of the session and what is the best way to arrive at your destination. This is where a coach who knows what they're doing and that can offer you advice and encouragement can really come in handy. So there you go, guys. They are the first 5 mistakes that come to my mind that I see people doing in the gym every day. If you liked today's video, make sure to give it a like, share with the fitness enthusiasts in your life, and make sure to follow my account for more fitness and nutritional related content. Please stay tuned, because in the next video I'm going to be bringing another video with 5 more mistakes that you're making in the gym and how to correct them. So guys, I'm going to leave it here for the moment. Remember to train hard but also train smartly. So I'll see you in the next video.